This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
And greetings, my friends, patriots, lovers of democracy, truth, and justice, believers in peace, freedom, and the American way. Thom Hartmann here with you. Well, the big lie is alive and well. You know the big lie? Yes, I'm going to violate Godwin's law, but I'm not the first person to do it. The big lie, of course, tell a really big lie and repeat it a lot, and eventually, well, actually, you know, one of our presidents who was intimately familiar with this because he fought a war against a country that went to war based on the big lie explains it even better than me. Here he is.
Remember, a number of years ago, there was a book, Mein Kampf.
Can we start that over again? I can't even hear that. I'm not sure. Have we figured out where in the audio chain our problem is? And
Mein Kampf.
okay, so let's just start that over again, Chris, please. Remember a couple of years ago there was a book. It's titled Mein Kampf. This is Franklin Roosevelt.
Remember, a number of years ago, there was a book, Mein Kampf, written by Hitler himself. The technique was all set out in Hitler's book, and it was copied by the aggressors of Italy and Japan. According to that technique, you should never use a small falsehood, always a big one, for its very fantastic nature would make it more credible. If only you keep repeating it over and over and over again.
This is the famous Fala speech in September or August of 1944 that Franklin Roosevelt gave that speech. And to see it at work, right? The Republicans yesterday in the House of Representatives voted for a roughly $600 billion tax cut over the next 10 years on people whose income is over $300,000 a year. There's a small addition to the ordinary income tax, but there's a large addition, almost a 20% increase in the capital gains tax. 3.8% was added on to the 20%, which is the top capital gains rate, which is a nearly 20, it's about an 18% increase in the capital gains tax. And who pays the capital gains tax at that level, at the very top level? Only very, 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 very rich people. And that capital gains tax, that additional 18% increase in the capital gains tax is generating the 60 to 100 billion dollars a year necessary to pay for the subsidies in Obamacare that allow you and your friends and working people and people on the low end of the income scale to either get subsidies for Obamacare or to get Medicaid. That's what it is all about. And the whole reason for everything the Republicans did yesterday was to cut that tax on their donor class. That was it. That's all they were interested in doing, and they had to do that first because then they're going to go on to tax reform, in quotes, which is cutting even more taxes for billionaires, like doing away with the alternative minimum tax and doing away with the estate tax. But first they had to get rid of this tax under the guise of health care. And so in the process of doing that, I mean, once you gut Obamacare of $600 billion, you can't cover everybody. And you've got to dial back the quality of coverage, right? So, but you can't let people know that. As Franklin Roosevelt said, you've got to stick to that big lie. Here's Donald Trump yesterday from the Rose Garden.
It's been a catastrophe, and this is a great plan. I actually think it will get even better, and this is, make no mistake, this is a repeal and a replace of Obamacare. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake. And I think most importantly, yes, premiums will be coming down. Yes, deductibles will be coming down.
No.
But very importantly, it's a great plan. And
No.
ultimately, that's what it's all about. We knew that wasn't going to work. I predicted it a long time ago. I said it's failing. And now it's obvious that it's failing. It's dead. It's essentially
Talking about Obamacare.
dead. If we don't pay lots of ransom money over to the insurance companies, it would die immediately. So what we have is something very, very incredibly well crafted.
Right. And then here's Paul Ryan echoing the big lie, just like FDR said. Hitler said, you've got to do it. You've got to repeat that big lie over and over and over again. Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan.
The truth is, this law has failed and it is collapsing.
Talking
Premiums
about
are skyrocketing
Obamacare
and
again.
choices are disappearing. And it is only getting worse, spiraling out of control.
Thanks to Marco Rubio.
That is why we have to repeal this law and put in place a real, vibrant marketplace with competition and lower premiums for families.
Right.
That's what the American Health Care Act is all about.
No.
It makes health care more affordable.
No.
It takes care of our most vulnerable.
No.
And it shifts power from Washington back to the states, and most importantly,
No.
back to you, the patient.
No.
Like I said, we've got a lot of work to do. But one thing is now clear. Republicans are committed to keeping our promise to lift the burden of Obamacare from the American people and put in place a better, more patient-centered system.
Right. You get it? I mean, it's like it is the big lie. There's just no other way to describe it. It's the friggin' big lie. This strategy. And the Republicans went into this. The donor class has been hysterical about a 18% increase in the income tax that they're paying, the capital gains tax that they're paying. And so, you know, billionaires like the Kochs, you know, they funded those creepy Uncle Sam ads back when Obamacare was first rolling out. They fought Obamacare tooth and nail. Americans for Prosperity and all these other Koch front groups have been attacking Obamacare day after day after day after day. Marco Rubio poison-pilled it 2 years ago, which is causing some insurance companies to pull out of the exchanges, you know, as was trumpeted. You know, when Republicans, it sounds like they're complaining. Actually, they're bragging. They're bragging about the fact that there's going to be nobody offering health insurance on the exchanges in the state of Iowa. Well, does that mean that nobody can buy health insurance? No. It just means the exchange isn't working. But anybody can, you know, you can buy health insurance from Blue Cross. You can buy it from Aetna. You can buy it from, you know, all the big companies. They do business in all 50 states. So it's not like people can't buy health insurance and can't get the subsidies on Obamacare. It's just that the Republican governor of Iowa is letting the exchange collapse, essentially. So it's the big lie. When are we going to acknowledge this? When is the corporate media going to acknowledge this? Have you heard even once on any television network? You're definitely not going to hear it on Fox. I mean, there's just this hysterical clip over at Media Matters of what happens, you know, when Juan Williams actually tried to tell the truth about what's going on. This is during their show, The Five. And I'm just going to play the audio from this because I can play it out of my computer, and Chris hasn't queued it up for the video. My fault, not Chris's. But just listen to this. I mean, you know, here's Juan Williams just trying to tell the truth, and they just pile on him. No, you can't say that. You know, the rubes are watching. You know, the suckers are watching. We've got to keep them inside the bubble. Here it is.
You know what? I hope it covers mental illness because we're seeing a lot of it at the table tonight. A lot of people
Nicely done.
Oh
Come
my
on,
God,
Juan.
this is great. This is a victory for Trump. Like a dose of reality, just, you know, the doctor's prescription. This is a fraud. This is a guy who didn't get anything done, no legislative accomplishment in the first 100 days, desperate for something that he can call a victory. He gets pressure on everybody from
Why
the
are
Heritage
Democrats so
Foundation
hysterical
to the
today if
Senate,
nothing happens?
all the way to Paul Ryan, and says you must do this. Reince Priebus pushing this like it's his life depending on it. But here's the details you have not heard about America. Uninsured, more uninsured people. Remember, I'm going to give you something that covers everybody. Better?
Those are people that don't want to sign
Hold
up
on.
for insurance.
No,
if you're young and
that's
healthy,
not
you
true.
don't have to buy it because you're not mandated.
See, Jesse Waters lying.
Let me just tell you something.
That's the truth.
What about this? If you're a senior in this country, so many older people voted for President Trump. Guess what? Now you can be charged 5 times more for your medical
What about my
coverage.
home state of
What
Arizona?
about this?
That
What
the
about
premiums are
Medicare?
up over 100.
What about the seniors
Oh,
that
my
paid
God.
116%
Juan
more for
Williams
their
tried to tell the
premiums in
truth.
Arizona?
Let me just tell you something.
We can't have that.
Honestly,
Shut him down.
My home state has been hit the hardest by far.
Hospitals are going to pay more for Medicare. What about the poor? Paying more for premiums and deductibles?
It goes on for another 2 minutes, but you get the idea, right? I mean, this is how Fox plays it because they're the official propaganda organ of the Republican Party. Fox was first proposed to Richard Nixon when Roger Ailes worked in the Nixon White House. He called it GOP TV. Richard Nixon couldn't raise the money to make it happen. So Ailes just kind of sat on. This is all in my book, The Crash of 2016, all the details. It's why Fox won't even let me come on anymore to debate people, because I got a whole chapter about Roger Ailes in there. Finally, he finds a billionaire, Rupert Murdoch, who goes, yeah, I'll do this.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
So GOP TV and right-wing hate radio keeping the big lie alive. Can the Republicans do that? Are they going to be successful?